Hello, everybody. Playoff week one of the Euroleague is done. In this episode, we're going to talk a little bit about our teams and then our views for the playoff brackets and who we think is going to make it to the final. So with that, we go straight to the results we had in this first week. So our main team, AlleyOopDunks, started quite okay. Our force of the team was Lesort, Hayes Davis, and the duo from Maccabi, Baldwin and Nibo. They all delivered. Sus Mateo 20 points as we expected. The only letdowns in our team was Degerskis and Nunn. And Rodriguez also, it was a very good, very low value selection that gave 8.8. So
one of the best options for guard from the cheap side, under 5 credits, let's say.
Yes, and we can see also Ulis, one of them right now. So the classic duo from Real. And then the next round, we had also an okay result. Again, we built on Lesort. That seems to be the most stable player right now. We brought James in, that he delivered. Rodriguez, as we've mentioned, he managed to stay even in the main team with 13.2 and only with 4.2, I think, credits was that round. Mitoglu, okay. Hayes Davis a little bit lower than we expected. Again, Sus Mateo, I think it was the best choice for everyone, the most safe choice to have with the 2 wins on the first week. And then from 6-player Blossom game had an okay performance. Then again, Nunn was not good, and Nibo just gave us 1 point. Nunn, it wasn't that bad. That's the first game.
It was 2. Yeah. 1 because he got the 50% from the bench, but Nibo didn't deliver on the standards he used to deliver. I mean, more than 15 fantasy points.
Exactly. So I was talking about Nunn. So Nunn, actually, on the first game, he made some crucial mistakes, and he was a negative force from foul, quite different from his usual performance. And as you mentioned, yes, Nibo, just 2-point rounds when really the whole year he's delivering great results. So when Nibo is playing like that, it's difficult also for Maccabi to win, especially if you don't have Baldwin. So then let's go to the new round and see what we've done. So we mixed things a little bit much, let's say. Let's start with coach, right? That's one of the most difficult choices on the round 39. We are going with Barzokas because he's the coach that we think has the most chances to win, but not the coach that we are sure he's going to win. So in comparison to the first 2 games of the playoffs, when we had Sus Mateo and we were pretty sure they're going to deliver, we're taking a risk, but we think this is the best quality reach you can have because it's only 9 credits. Sus Mateo is playing in
Baskonia,
cost 12.1, so it's a little bit expensive, and I think everything else is quite different.
As you say, Bill, from the coaches that they have, let's say the home court in this round, in this series now, for example, Oded Katash from Maccabi is the other coach, but Maccabi is playing versus Panathinaikos. A lot of things have happened the last week, so it's very risky. It's even more riskier to put Katash, not because Maccabi is a bad team, no, but Barzokas is a more safe option, taking into consideration what happened in the first, let's say, week of the playoffs.
And just because you mentioned the order, we're still going with the most expensive option for home court advantage in this round. So there it is, Barzokas with 9 credits than our coach. And he brings in the team Petrusev. That's one of the surprises. But we decided that we want to save some credits by swapping Nebo for Petrusev with just 9.1 credits. Petrusev has played some quality minutes in this series. He delivered 17.6 fantasy points in the first game and 12 points fantasy points in the second game. And both of these, he had more than 15 minutes, 21 you see on the last game. He didn't miss many shots, just 1 on the first game and 3 on the second game. And he also, grabbed a couple of rebounds, 4 on the last one and 5th on the first. So it seems to be a good solution from the bench for Douglas there. The other player, go for it.
Yeah, Petrusev and Mustafa fall really, because keep in mind Milutinov is back, so he's not injured. He is back with the team. However, Petrusev has stepped up his game versus Barcelona. So in a way, he's producing more than Mustafa Fall and Milutinov, on the court. For fantasy points, sometimes you don't see the real, statistic, but he is producing for both of them. But that's why Olympiacos is a very well, organized on the court team. So let's say all these months that Petrusev is with Olympiacos, it's in a way Barzokas was preparing him for the playoffs in a way. So now we see the real impact Petrusev has to Olympiacos.
And he used quite a lot with a center next to him. So because of Papanikolaou being off on the first 2 games, sometimes you would see Peters dropping to 3 position, McKissick or 2 position, and have Petrusev and one of the centers playing as well. So playing a more tall lineup against Barca. Now then, the other player on our center position is again Lesort, and is also the captain of our team. It is what it is. I don't think there is a greater option at the center position. He has proved to be the best center position since entering the playoffs, with 26 and 24.2 in this series. Very crucial for Panathinaikos team, and he's also getting the starting player number. So you can see 34 and 32 minutes, so a lot of time. With him also, we're keeping Mitoglou. The main reason we're keeping him is because of Hernan Gomez absence. So Mitoglou, he's going to be used a lot of minutes. So you see how his minutes here on the right jump from 22 on the first playoff game to 35 on the second playoff game. So with that in mind, it only cost 11.7. And if we look at the list of the rest of forwards, he's the one that has guaranteed the minutes, and he's probably going to take all these rebounds. We see quite a lot of question marks above. For example, Musa had an amazing game 1, but then fantasy-wise game 2, he was terrible. Minus actually result. So we stick with Mitoglou.
Same with Coulson. I think same with Coulson as well.
Exactly, very low production from. And Hezonja, although he's playing greatly fantasy-wise, he didn't had a lot of returns. Then we have Parker. He is a Parker we love to watch. He's a Parker reminding, the NBA Parker before the serious injuries. What an amazing game!
The first games with the Bucks. Yeah,
correct.
Agree.
24 points, 5 rebounds in 33 minutes, and also coming back from a 13.7 rebound game. But I think what you don't see on the numbers is the way that he took over the game at some points, and his presence gives, I would say, some kind of a security or confidence to the rest of his teammates, especially in a stacked team with like Vesely or Satoransky, players of this caliber, or Rubio. It's amazing that Parker has this functionality, and as you can see, he played 33 minutes, the most of any player. So it is a very difficult game. It is a risky one, but with 10.2, we're gonna stick with him as well. And now we have some changes here going into the bottom. So we swap James, I think. Yes, James. Not because we don't think he's gonna do well. Actually, we believe he's gonna have a good game, at least fantasy-wise. But with all the credits we get from Nebo and from James, we can actually get 3 great guards. So we got Brown, we got Wilbekin, and we got Miller McIntyre. So we were more happy with this way because we think each of these 3 will have great games. Brown is stepping up without Baldwin. Wilbekin came back from his injury in the first game. That whoever was watching that game, it seemed like he was about to get on fire, but then he got injured. And the next game he came back 23 points. So he playing at home. Dorsey is also quite hot this time. So this duo with Kalathis next to them and Kuduric to help from the bench, potentially they can explode. So it's worth for us the risk, the 11.6. And finally, Miller McIntyre. There is nothing really to prove anymore. This year has done it all. Has a triple-double, has multiple games with double digits in assists. He's providing in everything. Now, this is a do-or-die game, and he's the best player with Monaco being out in that team. Even if Monaco was in my opinion, he's probably the best player, but fantasy-wise, now he's getting the minutes. It is the time that he needs to, drop his best game of the season to keep them alive.
Him and Howard need to step up big time. In the first game in Vitoria, they can do it. They have done it also versus Virtus, so they can do it. And if Howard starts scoring from the perimeter, then that opens also the game for Miller McIntyre. Drive into the basket and also finding the assist. If I'm correct, that's what I don't remember. If I'm correct, he's the number 1 in assist in Euroleague this year, right? If I am correct, I cannot recall it 100%, but I think so. He is the number 1 in assist this year.
So this is interesting. So I'm gonna check it live. So if I go on,
it's a big achievement. That's why,
this is very correct. So this season he's at 7.2 an assist, and he's followed by Campazzo, Lorenzo Brown's Lucas.
And it's not even that close. Like you see 7.2 with 6.4. The difference is big. It's not 6.4 with 6.5 or 6.6.
Yeah. At this level is chaotic difference.
Yeah, exactly.
It's huge. And there he is, Marcus Hart. He's actually averaging the most points and the most 3-pointers made. So exactly the 2 players we were mentioning right now. So getting back to our team, then finally we have Hayes Davis. He's not getting away. He's our main forward. We believe he's going to have a big game, and he is the captain for the second round in case Lesor doesn't deliver. And finally, our team closes with Rodriguez, that as you've seen before, he even made it to the main starting 5. So even with a 4.7, it's still a great quality choice. And finally, Cohen, he had a great, I would say, X-Factor type start of the game with Panathinaikos on game 2, when he scored 12 points in that game, and I think it was 3 out of 3 3-pointers to start, probably only 1 missed shot. and he delivered 11 fantasy points. As you can see, the whole year he's giving some points, fantasy points. Previous time in the regular season versus Pau, he has 7.7 and 1.1. So with just 4.3, we think is a very good way to close the team.
Yeah, with the under 5 credit players, if you can have Sergio Rodriguez and Cohen, I think they're pretty decent options. Just to get something, between 5 and 8, let's say, fantasy points.
Exactly.
In a way.
Should we then switch to our second team?
Yeah. Just remember the rule we have for the second team. We cannot have the same players that we have in the first team. So with this in mind, we have a smaller pool to select the players for this team. However, as you see, still we have the same coach, Bertzokas. He, as we'll explain, seems the less riskiest option to have. And then we kept Moti Yunus at center. He had an amazing second game versus Fenerbahce. He was scoring the beginning. I think he didn't miss a shot or missed 1 or 2, but he was very crucial into give Monaco this safe option of give me the ball and I will score. Because these are playoffs, so the players need to have an experience during in this round. Then we said, okay, we don't keep any other player. Let's rebuild. As you see, James is here. We brought Mike James. Di Bartolomeo more as a filler, but expect him to get minutes because of Baldwin's absence. Slukas, there are players and players in the first week of the playoffs that they play great. There is not just 1 or 2, but Slukas managed on the first game to have double-double, 12 points, 13 assists, as you see, in 33 minutes. And the second game, 29 points, just 4 assists, but 29 points for a 34-year-old guard. You can see the pure class that he's made of. He was scoring basket after basket, 3-pointer after 3-pointer. And to me, Bill, you may add something on what I'm going to say. To me, the most important and the crucial element that Slukas has is that he controls the momentum of the team. He is the coach on the court for Panathinaikos. So he scored 29 points, but the way he has to involve others as well and control the tempo of the game is the most crucial aspect of his game, in my opinion.
I think he's one of the best leaders in this EuroLeague season. The second half, after his injury, the way he's playing after the injury, and the way that he can switch the tempo of the game and turn things around is just magnificent. So he is one of the greats, anyways. We know with 3 EuroLeagues with multiple teams. So yes, so that's why also is our team for this round.
Yeah, and also the captain for turn 1.
Yeah.
Also, we brought in Peters from Olympiacos. He had a very good second game versus Barcelona. I believe he scored 20 points. Yes, with 5 rebounds, as you see, 1 steal. So with 19 fantasy points, and again, he gets the playing time for sure. He's one of the main scoring options for Olympiacos. Keep in mind we have Hayes Davis in the first team, so Peters seemed to us one logic option to have in this team. And let's see the rest of the team. Yes,
let's go to Real Madrid.
Yeah, let's go to Real Madrid. Baskonia. Diaz is a former player of Real Madrid, but it's okay. As you see, we brought in Yabusele, the other forward. He had a good second game. I think in the first game versus Baskonia, he had 12 fantasy points, but in the second, he had 22 or something like more than 20 for sure. So he is one of the, I may call it X factors for Real Madrid for this series, because he brings his experience to the court. When Tavares is not there, for Yul, whatever we say is not enough. As we said for Rodriguez in the first team, Yul is the same for this team. Just pure leadership, experience, and both of them, they have the know-how of the playoffs. Rudy, the same. Last year for Rudy, so it's last dance. After the Olympics, he will retire. And at center, we have Vincent Poirier. Poirier had a good first week of the playoffs. The second game, him and Tavares played extremely well. However, Poirier cost only 12.6 credits, so that's why we selected Poirier for the team. As you see, this is also a well-rounded team with options. And keep in mind, we cannot have the same players. So for turn 1, captain is Lucas. Turn 2, we'll see. We can pick James. For example, we have the obvious choice is James, let's say.
It is James. Yeah, I was wondering for a minute. Great. So that was our teams. But let's see what's going on in the playoffs now and what's our opinion on the brackets. So let's start from the left. Real Baskonia, what do you see?
Well, after the 2 victories, in my mind, is very important if Monaco plays in the third game. If Monaco does not play, for some reason, still I have Baskonia winning 1 game. So I will say 3-1 for Real Madrid, but I see Baskonia winning 1 game. I mean, as we said, if Miller McIntyre and Howard just play the way they play, I think Baskonia will win 1 game, for sure.
Yeah, I think I will. Yeah, my sympathy Baskonia all over the years, over the last, let's say, 25 years. But I have to say, unfortunately, this was one of the easier brackets. So yeah, I hope it's not a 3-0, but I don't see this going further than 3-1. Potentially, Real is finishing the series in Vitoria. So I would move then to the bottom, the Barca Real.
Barca
Olympiacos. So there the game is tied. They are going now to Olympiacos in Piraeus to play their 2 games. I believe that is a very tough schedule now for Barca. The break, the first of the home court advantage Olympiacos managed to do on the first game is very crucial. If I look at the 2 teams and see, the rosters, I would say, it's tough to see Barca not going through. But then if I look at the team's performance, it's tough to say that Olympiacos will lose now the home court advantage. So I would say potentially 1-3 for Olympiacos or 50-50 if this goes to the, back to Barcelona.
Let me point out the most crucial element and factor on this on the remaining 2 games, let's say.
And I forgot to say something.
Yeah,
let's see if
it's the same. If it's the same, I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah. But to me, in this series, the X factor is the experience of the coach. What I mean by that, Grimao is first year in Euroleague level, in the first team of Barcelona's head coach, compared to Barzokas, who has more years in Euroleague with several teams, not just Olympiacos. So in my mind, this is the X factor, the coach experience. that played a huge role. Um, in the regular season, though, Barcelona had 2-0 versus Olympiacos. Barcelona won in Piraeus and also in their home court. However, now we're talking about the playoffs. And since Olympiacos won the first game, I believe his motivation not to go back to Barcelona, it will give the players the boost to win and close the series in Piraeus with a 3-on final. Results.
I wanted to mention, I agree with your comment about the coaches, but Grimal is doing a good job, at least on the game
yes.
two.
I'm not comparing.
Not on game
I'm not
one,
comparing.
perhaps.
Yes, I'm not comparing and saying that Grimal is a bad
Yeah,
coach.
that's not what you're saying. Yeah.
Yes, not at all.
Yeah, exactly. It's about experience. But I wanted to say we both forgot about Papanikolaou. Papanikolaou, he is probably the best player in that team. At least the way he plays this year, he's been exceptional. At points, you can say he's like the IQ, the center of the team on the court, and he was absent on the first games. And Olympiacos managed to get away win without him. I think is a big achievement if you realize, the role he has in the team. So
he's the leader of the team, not just the captain, the leader of the team.
He's crucial. Yes. Cool. Then let's go. So I guess we agreed then on that as well, both two brackets. So let's go now on the top right. Panathinaikos Maccabi. So this is potentially the most exciting, I would say, basketball-wise at least, matchup. I could see both of these teams easily, getting all the way even to the final. But one of them has to stay out. So what I find, an amazing away win. Actually, the way came by coming back from a big deficit on the first game for Maccabi on a high score, I think 95-91, if I remember well. But then they're missing Baldwin. And this is a huge loss for them. And he's not going to be back before game 5, I think, or game 4, he's uncertain. So I think without Baldwin, there is the upper hand is on Panathinaikos side. These games, due to the war, they're not happening in Tel Aviv. So, one of the best Euroleague home court advantages there are lost. It's not the same to play with like 300 or 1,000 people, whatever, whichever.
The atmosphere is amazing. The atmosphere in Tel Aviv is amazing.
Yeah, it's one of the best. So it's not the same. So I think Panathinaikos probably in one of the 2 remaining games in Belgrade, I think we'll win one of them or even 2. So I think potentially this is a 3-1, or then again, as we said for the playoff with the Barca Olympiacos, then it will be a 50-50 game if Baldwin is back and goes all the way back to Akka. But I don't see Maccabi winning the 2 games and finishing the series there.
To me, I'm gonna say something now. It's risky, not about the games, but I will make a scenario. If you ask Maccabi fans right now, I believe most of them will agree with what I'm gonna say. They would have preferred for Panathinaikos to have 2 victories right now and still have Baldwin playing, rather than what is happening now. Because on the first game, Maccabi made a big victory but losing Baldwin. So this hurts their percentage on their, in total to win the series. That's my first comment. Second comment. Before the game, I agree with Bill. I forget. Second, I agree with Bill. Separate the noise from what is actually happening on the court And this series, we have watched two amazing games. To me, at least to me. You see two teams fighting. You see a lot of high basketball IQ, and from all players, not just one or two. Everyone has to contribute for its own team in order to to win. I mean, we see some big games. My next comment about the big games is, before the game we were talking about Baldwin versus Kendrick Nunn. So far, Kendrick Nunn, has not influenced the game as much as maybe Coach Ataman wants or Panathinaikos want. And if Baldwin was playing, we were talking now more about Baldwin versus Lucas in a matchup, with these two players. What I believe the third game is the most crucial game, because we are 1-1 in this series. I believe because Baldwin is not playing, Panathinaikos has the upper hand to go to the semifinal. So it might be 3-2 or 3-1, but I believe he has more chances because of Baldwin being injured.
Okay. Let's go then to the last bracket. Another amazing, let's say, pair there. We have Monaco and Fener. I think before this series starts, everyone knew it's gonna be a break somewhere here and there. It happened then. Again, on the first game, Fener managed to win in Monaco, and then Monaco came back and won. I believe Monaco has the ability to break as well inside Istanbul. Although we know, we've mentioned many times from here, Fener is one of the most strong home court teams. But I believe Monaco is one of the teams that they're not phased out. They don't really influence that much from the home court situation and from the fans. So I believe they have what they take. Is one of these teams that they can go in any court and win. So I see this going to back to Monaco, and then anything can happen really. Is one that I cannot really give anyone the upper hand. Why I say that? Because the fifth game is happening in Monaco. So if the advantage was in Istanbul, I would say okay, Fener probably on the fifth game. Now it's in Monaco, anything can happen. Then you're talking more about the big players, and because James is one of them, I will give the upper hand for 3-2 on Monaco. But yeah, I see this game going to the 5 games.
To me, if Monaco can steal one game in Istanbul, is this game. If Fenerbahce does the 2-1 and takes the lead, I think it will be 3-1. Fenerbahce will close the series simply because if they go back to Monaco, Monaco has the players, the personalities to win the game. So, in my mind, if Monaco wins this game and go back to Monaco, then Monaco will advance. Otherwise, if Fenerbahce wins, it will be 3-1 for Fenerbahce. And for that reason, I have to give the props to Coach Saras. So the management made the choice to release Coach Itoudis and bring Saras, and Saras has, built the team steadily, gradually, and now you see the results of his impact to the team. Amazing.
And just mention one name here, Sestina.
Even
Sestina.
Yes, I have this in mind. The reaction with Sestina and with Saras, but that's what Saras can bring. As a player, if you ask the basketball fans, you think they will tell you, he's a crazy guy in a good way. I mean, he's a crazy guy. Just with basketball, just with the sport in general. But that's how he can impact his players. Yes, that's how he can impact his players. And when you have Sestina scoring, I don't remember how many points in the first game and getting the win, that means a lot.
So what I was mentioning also before, there is a point when I think he made a second foul, or I don't remember exactly what was happening, but Saras is making a substitution. Somebody is coming in, and Sestina runs back. He thinks he's the one out, and Sara says, "No, you go back and play. You continue playing." So that was a very good thing to see, you know. Yeah, great coaching on that one.
Yeah. But that's Saras, you know. That's the Saras we know, we love. So anything
Cool. Okay, so
can happen.
exciting. Yeah. Anything can happen, especially on the final four. So that's why we're not gonna go more. Let's see what playoffs has to bring. This is week 2, and if we go into week 3 for game 5 if we need to. So everyone, good luck on your teams, and enjoy, and speak to you next time.
Yeah, guys, enjoy playoffs, and see you soon.